Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why not caring gets results. So we're going to be talking a lot about inner peace, inner confidence, and basically why not caring so much actually gives you these things. So a lot of the time when you hear someone like they don't care, it usually comes from a very arrogant place. What comes to my mind when I hear someone say that they don't care, I kind of think of like an arrogant teenager or something like that. But the reason why not caring as much really works when you're dating, or when you're trying to get over an ex or something like that, is because if you have this sort of attitude when you care less of, if someone likes me, if someone wants me, that's great. But also, if they don't want me and I discover that they don't like me or they don't want to be with me anymore, then that's also great. Because if they like you, then you get the opportunity to date them or you get the opportunity to be in a relationship with them. And if they don't like you, then you then have the opportunity to find someone who does. So it's coming from this very kind of Zen place, this kind of very Buddhist type place of, you can take it or leave it. If you want to be in my life, that's great. If you don't want to be in my life, that's also great, because either way, I win. And you win because, if they don't want you, then you win because you get the opportunity to find someone who does, and it gives you the space to go and find someone new. And if they do like you, that's great because you have the opportunity to create a new connection or an old connection with this person who you like and they like you. That's great. So you have to kind of get to that place where you don't care so much about the outcome, where you do kind of keep things a little bit casual. Especially in dating. Like in dating, you should always have the attitude of, I just want to see how this turns out. I just want to see how things go. I'm not going to allow myself to get too emotionally attached to someone who I don't even know yet, because that's where I see a lot of people go wrong. They get overly attached to someone they don't really know that well yet. And the truth is that you don't know. When you start dating someone, you don't know who they are. You don't know what it's like to live with them. You don't know what it's like to be around them when things get tough. They might completely break down, and you have to basically shoulder every heavy load, basically. And when you are with someone, it should be a partnership. You should be able to carry basically the fair share of different tasks. You shouldn't be the one that has to do absolutely everything. And that might be the case. You might start dating someone, get into a relationship with them because you weren't cautious enough and you weren't skeptical enough. And when you got into a relationship with them, when you started, living with them, you realize that you have to do absolutely 100% of everything, and they just sit there, or they may wallow in their own misery or something like that. You don't know. So that's why you have to be quite skeptical, and that's why you have to have this attitude of, I just want to see how things go, and you have to not care as much. And that will ultimately get you the better result, because if you remain just a little bit detached from people who you date, you're able to keep a level head, and you'll be able to basically see what's true and what's not true. You'll be able to recognize the red flags. You won't get yourself too emotionally attached. And because you've done that, you can make a more measured decision on whether or not you want to continue dating that person. Because most of the time, love affairs should start with it being a very casual fling. Like, it shouldn't be too serious too soon, unless, let's say, both people are on the same page. Because there are occasions, very rare occasions, where you'll meet someone and they'll really like you 100% and you'll like them 100% and you'll joint at the hip immediately. That's a beautiful thing that can happen. But usually there is one person that likes the other one more and things like that, and it should remain a casual thing to begin with and not too overly emotional. Because, most of the time people are skeptical when they go out on a date with someone. They just want to see how things go. And if most people that you date are just there to see how things go, then you should also have that attitude as well and not basically fall head over heels for them too fast. And I hear a lot of people saying to me like, oh yeah, but I can't help the way that I feel. And the truth is that you can help the way that you feel. Because if you fall in love with someone really, really fast, basically what's happened is you've probably overindulged in thoughts about them. You've probably been reading their messages too much. You've been overanalyzing things. You've probably been looking at their photos too much. You might have been listening to music and thought about them. Basically, you've been consumed with thoughts about them, when really you should stay, like I said, a little bit more skeptical don't just focus on your dating life. Have other areas of your life that you have, put a large amount of your focus on as well. Because when you have other things that you care about, and it's not just your dating life or this one person that you're dating, it's much more easier to stay skeptical. It's much more easier to stay less emotional about it and not care as much. So it's important that you just have this, let's just see how this let's just see how this goes kind of attitude. That's the best kind of attitude that you could have on date when you're dating, because the people that you date are probably going to have that attitude. So it's important that you adopt that attitude as well. It's a bit of a weird thing, and I don't quite understand the psychology around it. Maybe one of you guys might be able to understand the psychology of it, but it seems to me that the people who don't seek approval, the people that don't care what other people think of them, tend to get better results, not just in relationships and when they're dating, but also in friendships as well. Like if you're always seeking the approval of people, then it seems that those people have less success with maintaining those friendships and actually getting that approval. It always seems to me the people that don't want the approval, that don't need the approval, that kind of don't care, seem to get the approval way more. So basically being unattached from the outcome when it comes to dating, when it comes to, relationships and things like that, really, really does help, becoming unattached. Because, one of the things that I know for sure is if something was to happen in my marriage and I split up from my partner, let's say she just broke up with me, let's say that she was filing for a divorce or something like that, sure, it would suck. I would hate that. I would want to be with her. But I know after a while, after I've had time to heal, I would be able to pick myself back up again and find someone else. Like, I know that for me. Like, I know with assurance that if my wife was to do something, like file for a divorce, or she were to cheat on me, or do something else that was just awful, that was one of my deal breakers, then even though it would suck, even though it would hurt, even though I'd probably not want to date for a long time, I know at some point I will be able to get back on my feet. And it's having that assurance that I'm not going to be so clingy in this relationship that I'm going to be completely 100% devastated if something was to go wrong. And I see a lot of people go wrong with that kind of thing. Like, they do really care about the outcome. They think of it as like the end of the world, basically, if a relationship deteriorates. When really, the reality of it is really not. Eventually, you will be able to get back on your feet and you will get better. You will recover from it. And that's why you shouldn't care so much about relationships, because you will be able to get back on your feet if something was to go wrong. It's not a be all end all kind of situation. You can recover from these things. And it's not, something you should take too seriously anyway. Relationships should be fun and enjoyable, and just a nice experience. It shouldn't be such a very serious, sort of stoic kind of thing. It's supposed to be a playful, kind of magical experience. It's supposed to be a very happy experience, a very fun experience, which is why I think it's so important that you find someone who, you have not just a great romantic sexual life with, but also a great friendship with, who you can have a laugh with, who you can, like proper belly laugh with, and just have such a brilliant, fun time with them, and you're capable of that as a couple. If you can't have that and you don't have any shared interests and it's very serious and it's all about passion and things like that, then those relationships don't tend to last very long. Or if they do and these two people have very big stickability power, then the relationship, even though it stands the test of time, it's not a very happy one. You need to be able to be friends and companions in a relationship, not just have the sexual thing. Or the seriousness, right? So that's why not caring, helps you get results, and it helps to develop a lot more inner peace and confidence. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. If you do get coaching with me, please do check your spam folder for your confirmation email. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.